It also makes me frustrated and sad when anything we go try to do together turns into a TikTok or photo shoot. My frontal lobe was not developed at that time. When I spoke to him about it, I took the opportunity to tell him about my cheating experience as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm upset because this is the one area I've asked him to help with and he's already saying it's too much.
Dealing with people?
I was going to say, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, maybe it's just working with people that's draining and exhausting. When you guys don't get together for a little while, you tend to get frustrated and arguments become a lot more frequent.
Do you ever feel like a pro, Ellie?
I think this is a very common misconception that some people have with people that work from home.
And he responded with, no, you take breaks. You're just being lazy. Mind you, I am working, caring for the baby, making us breakfast, my lunch, and our dinner. I walk the dog with the baby in the middle of my workday. This sparked an argument.
So I don't like this.
I can tell Hallie's a little triggered.
I am. Yeah, that's not clocking to me. He's not standing on business.
This week, we're reading some of the wildest Reddit posts that we could find. And because we're half past shy, we had to dig into some Desi specific chaos. So let's get into it, half past crew.
This episode is brought to you by Autonomy, but more on that later.
Welcome to
Half Past Shy.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Half Past Ja. We're your hosts. My name is K2.
My name is Hallie.
And if you can't already tell, we're a married interracial couple. And that's what we talk about on this podcast. We talk about being an interracial couple. We talk about relationships in general. And then we get questions from you because you guys go to www.halfpastshy.com where you submit your questions and stories. And that was the entire last episode. So thank you for doing that. We release new podcast episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like this video. By the way, 16,000 plus subscribers at this point, guys. Thank you so much for clicking that subscribe button. It means the world to us. If you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you follow and give the podcast 5 stars. That helps so much. And we appreciate each and every one of you as well. So settle in, get cozy, and grab your ja.
Okay, that was the best you've done the intro in a very long time.
Thank you.
Good job.
I'm so proud of myself.
Also want to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You decided to put on green after I put on green.
But Hallie's eyes are green. They're so beautiful and big, and I just love green. Green's like my favorite color now because of her eyes.
Damn it, I can't be mad when you say that.
It's so beautiful. So I was like, I gotta wear green. We're gonna work with Hallie's eyes today because they're so pretty and beautiful.
Stop. Well, notice we're very green. Everything we do is green. Yeah.
Green.
Green. Guys, first off, thank you for 16,000 subscribers. My mind is blown. That is insane. And we thought to celebrate, why don't we have a very funny episode? Not necessarily funny, okay? Wild.
Wild.
We scoured the internet, or Reddit in this case, for some stories. Not from you guys, maybe from you guys. I don't know. There are a lot of anonymous usernames on Reddit. However, we have quite a few that we wanted to go through, whether they're Desi related or just in general relationship, marital problems, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to go through those. And we have quite a few. So K2?
Yeah.
You want to start us off?
We are going to start off with a work from home situation.
Oh.
Okay? I don't know how to explain a work from home / chore / childcare to my partner. My husband and I have a dog and an 8-month-old baby. We recently moved into a new apartment to be closer to his job. I now work from home with a 2.5-hour commute every other week. Okay? Keep that in mind. With him at work and our nanny not starting yet, I'm working from home doing childcare. I'm working overtime as well due to some strict deadlines this week. My husband this morning brought up that we need to finally fold our clothes and laundry and put it away. I said I could definitely do it when he gets home tonight. He looked at me and said, why not just do it when you're home? And I was like, I'm just really busy this week, but I'll try. And he responded with, no, you take breaks. You're just being lazy. Mind you, I am working, caring for the baby, making us breakfast, my lunch, and our dinner. I walk the dog with the baby in the middle of my workday. This sparked an argument. I don't like being told what to do, so that is why I'm arguing. But I said I would try. I'm not sure how to get it across to him that I'm not just lounging on the couch all day. Any advice?
Okay. I'm thinking about this one, and I think this is a very common misconception that some people have with people that work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're not going into the office does not mean that you're not doing anything. And that's a problem that I have. I've had people say that to me like, oh, well, you can take my phone call because you're working from home. Or, oh, you can do this because you're working from home. No, that's not necessarily the case. Granted, now I don't have my corporate job, but I worked from home 2 or 3 days out of the week, and I was very busy. And yes, it did give me maybe some more time to make my lunch or whatever. Or, I don't know, like I could go on a walk or like a brief walk during my lunch, but it's not like I was just walking around doing nothing or laying on the couch and relaxing.
The part that shocked me was that she's taking care of the baby and working. That's a lot of work. And I think that's what a lot of people have said. So like we want to also read some of the things that people are responding with. And somebody said like it's very unreasonable for the husband to think that childcare and working from home isn't a lot.
That's insane. I know parents who work from home, and it's so difficult for them to even do the stuff that they have to do at work, let alone any other housework or any other things that maybe expectations are put on them. That's crazy.
Some really good advice that somebody gave was set up a shared Google Calendar, put every single thing on there, work, prepping meals, walking the dog, eating lunch, bathroom breaks, everything. So then your partner can really see what they're doing every single day and how much they're doing. I know that I've had parents who went to work every single day and they are like putting in hours at work and working hard, and it is a lot of work. But I'm saying I know it's not physical manual labor when you're just sitting in a chair. I know my parents have said it's like, hey, like at least you get to sit in a chair all day. I'm like,
that's actually a hindrance, to be honest.
It's worse, and it takes up so much brain power having to do some of the things that we do, especially in the STEM field. It's very complex, and by the end of the day, you are drained.
And in any job.
Yeah.
I know people who don't even work STEM jobs, and they are sitting at their desk, like taking calls or working. I mean,
Dealing
I think
with
it's maybe,
people.
I was going to say, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, maybe it's just working with people that's draining and exhausting because, yeah. And it comes from every perspective. The grass is always greener, right? But at the same time, it's not fair to not even try and come from a place of understanding. Okay, did you say that the husband, he's like off at his job?
Yeah.
So he's at work, socializing with people, getting out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize how draining it can be being in your house, staying home with the kids, doing all the cooking, all the cleaning. No.
It also makes you go crazy.
It makes you go crazy.
Like,
so I don't like this.
I can tell Hallie's a little triggered.
I am, because, okay, guys, we've talked about this before, but sometimes K2 and I, especially now that we've transitioned into this new stage of life with our working and what we're trying to do with our business, there have been some misunderstandings.
We need a break from each other sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, we're here. This is our home. Everyone welcome. And it's been good. It's been really good. That didn't sound very convincing.
Hallie, you should just, I think they get the point.
But what I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of unseen things that both of us do that we don't always give each other credit for. And I don't think it's fair if you don't necessarily know what the other person is doing to tell them to do more or act like they aren't doing enough already. That's my 2 cents.
I agree. It's a lot. All right, Hallie, what do you have? What did you find in the world of Reddit?
All right. This one is called, "Is it possible to cheat after cheating on each other?" I know, right? All right. Is it possible to heal after cheating on each other? I, 22 female, and my partner, 30 male, have been married for 3 years now. When we were engaged, I cheated on my partner with a woman. It was a one-night stand kind of thing. After that, I definitely cut her off and realized I am 100% straight. I said nothing to my partner. You said nothing. Sorry. Whoa. We carried on, got married, and I felt guilty, but also just buried it. Recently, my partner and I had a beautiful child together. We are from 2 different cultures and countries. We had the child in his country. I found it isolating with the language barriers. So I moved back with our child. We both agreed that they will have a better life here, and my partner is due to join me soon. We have been doing long distance for about 3 months now. While I appreciate he is busy working and having fun, he barely calls and texts, only when I do. He doesn't put any effort into anything. I had suspicions about him because he was drinking a lot, hanging out with new female friends that he didn't introduce me to, and he wouldn't answer a lot of my texts or calls properly when he was with them. He's so avoidant about feelings when I confront him about it. I found out that he cheated on me through a mutual friend. I had evidence, and he got very mad that he wasn't the one that told me. When I spoke to him about it, I took the opportunity to tell him about my cheating experience as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. I told him that I want a break and that I'm not sure how to process this, especially with the distance. Ever since then, we've barely communicated, and it kills me every day that I am raising our baby alone, while he can go out and socialize, work, and basically have the freedom of not being a parent. We didn't discuss any boundaries about the break because when I brought it up, he told me I'm giving up, and that we've been through so many things that we can come out stronger. I feel as though I've lost my spark, and I can't help but blame him. Overall, I guess I'm asking, if both partners have cheated on each other, how can we heal from this? Is it possible, or is it just too toxic to even try? The first comment is, I mean, you got what you deserved, I guess, LOL. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, hurt people, break up for good. You'll justify cheating on him again when another rough patch occurs, and vice versa.
Damn.
What do you think?
I think this is a failed relationship. It's hard to say, but sometimes you just need to move on. This is bad. This is pretty bad. It seems like you messed up, he's messed up, and that's a very easy solution to just learn from your mistakes. Make some better choices next time, maybe.
But they have a baby together.
That's okay. You can co-parent.
And you can. But my point in saying that is that you didn't have this conversation earlier. If you cheated and you felt guilty about it for all this time, why did you decide to take a next step that makes things even more difficult to separate? Because now you guys have to be in each other's lives forever if you separate.
Yeah.
Co-parenting is so hard. I mean, not that I've dealt with it, but I know people who've had to do it, and I can't imagine. And yeah, maybe some people don't think it's that hard, but you have to make a lot of things work. You have to make a lot of, not sacrifices, or I guess kind of sacrifices, but I know some people in the situation and they're like, oh yeah, well, this makes this harder, and like we can't really move, and blah, blah, blah. Like it just makes things more difficult. And so that to me is wild. I mean, I guess the first comment was kind of right. Did you get what you deserved? Do you think that person deserved it?
I think you didn't deserve, nobody deserves to get cheated on. Nobody deserves that. It's just unfortunate that you guys weren't truthful to each other. You guys both weren't truthful to each other. Like he lied, you lied, both cheated on each other, and it doesn't cancel out. I think that's the question at large.
Yeah.
Like, does it even count as, no. Yes, it definitely counts as cheating. You both messed up. That's all I gotta say. It's a very difficult thing to admit, but that's, gotta deal with the facts. I'm a big facts guy. I like the facts.
I agree with that. I don't think anyone deserves to get cheated on, but at the same time,
yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
And you need to learn from the mistakes. People make mistakes.
People make mistakes, yeah. And sometimes, you know, those mistakes are worth giving a second chance, sometimes not. I think if you both have cheated, you should just call it done. Call it quits. Honestly, I don't know. It probably would be way too toxic to try, in my humble opinion.
Better for the child as well.
Yes. So, next, Suke 2.
Here we go. This question comes from Inside Indian Marriage. Oh, very interesting. I am married and my wife and I live abroad. Our set of parents visit once a year for 2 months each. We live in a relatively big house, but when they visit, we always feel like we can't be ourselves. Here are some examples. 1, we both can't wear what we want. We both can't cook what we want. We have to cook what they want. We can't talk or argue about anything without them interfering, no matter even if it's in our own room. Pressure to wake up early for God knows why. Involve us in family gossip, which we aren't interested in. And the last one, privacy. I want to know the rationale of people who prefer staying with their in laws. Our parents aren't that old that we need to be there for emergencies. In a few years, if anything happens, we can always have them nearby. I'm guessing the couple is in America.
Yeah.
And these two parents are traveling to stay with them from out of the country. It's difficult because they are not accustomed to how you live in whatever country you're living in, right? They're going to try and force you to live the way that they want to live. And I've seen this because that's how I've seen a lot of families even here, where sometimes both sets of parents live with them. And then over the winter time, they'll go back to India or wherever they're from. And it causes issues. It causes things to be it's hard to talk about it because I understand why they do it, but at the same time, it's causing so many relationship problems to where, is it worth it, is the question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how to handle a situation like this. And I was very upfront with my parents, like, hey, like, we're not living together. Sorry. The reason being, I knew that they could take care of themselves. And if they ever needed anything, which they do need things pretty often, I will go there, help them with whatever they need and assist them with anything and everything. But when it comes to living together, I just think it causes way too many problems. I've seen it with elderly parents. I know, like, it's just too much to put pressure on a couple who's trying to build their own family.
Question for you. So if they're in America, how do you think that's different from a couple who's living in India? Do you think there's a difference?
There is a difference. In India, it's very hard to live on your own. I'm not saying like it's very hard to live on your own, but like as you age in India, like usually you're not working, so you don't have income. And the family starts to become your retirement plan. For example, a boy is married, that boy is going to live with his parents because he's going to now support them because he's making enough money to support the entire family. So that's different. Whereas here it's also very hard to like live on your own. Like usually we'll have people living together until like they're 26, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll move out or do whatever they want. But then when they get married again, the parents move back in. I've seen that a lot, and it causes a lot of problems.
I don't really have an opinion on this specifically, but I would just say for me personally, I've seen people try and have big houses, whether it be family, friends. It's not always the more the merrier, I think, in some scenarios. I mean, granted, if you want that, then that's great. But I'm somebody, I love privacy. I really value privacy. And I think for me specifically, because we moved out at such a young age, I mean, I was 22 when we got married, you were 24. That's a very critical time for us to kind of figure things out on our own and also figure things out together and how we want to live our lives moving forward. So it was a very developmental time. My frontal lobe was not developed at that time. But I think I respect anyone who chooses to have family live with them in whatever scenario. I mean, personally, like we have in my family, people have lived with us and I've experienced that. So that's what I could speak to. But there are different reasons that people do it, right? Like if people can't take care of themselves, if somebody's sick, I mean, there are all kinds of instances. But I don't know. I respect anyone who chooses to do it, but I also respect if couples want their own privacy. I think that should be really valued as well. And I don't think people talk about it enough sometimes because I've had people send us questions and stories of stuff of how they're unhappy that their in-laws or some family member lives with them. And I think that needs to be a serious conversation that people have. It shouldn't always be the expectation. I think it should be more of a conversation.
Here's some of the comments that people have left. There is no rationale. Adults, especially ones that are married, must move out. It's family equals man plus wife plus kids. Everybody outside of this unit must not stay within the house. That's what somebody commented. There's also comments about how I wish my husband were like this. I think a lot of men want to live with their parents. They want to take care of their parents. They want to make sure that they are taken care of, everything that they provided, like their parents provided, they want to make sure that the parents are taken care of because of that. And that causes a lot of issues because what if the wife doesn't want that?
I mean, in stories that people have submitted to us, it doesn't always seem like she's on the same page as him. Personally, that's what I've seen. However, that's not all scenarios, okay? But I wanted to say it obviously culture plays such a huge role into it because I love you, mom and dad, but I wanted my own house. And we hang out and we visit each other, and that's amazing. But you do get to a certain age where you have to grow and develop on your own. And you have to be able to make decisions for yourself. And I think that's very important. But again, it is a conversation. You know what I mean? You have to talk to the person that you love about that. And that was something that I didn't understand for a long time until we talked about it and the impact and how important it is to have your parents live with you. I didn't grasp that naturally. So I've lived here my whole life, and that's not a cultural expectation that we have, whether it be in America in general, or maybe it is, and I'm just not part of that, or religion based. But I think it's a very important conversation that everybody needs to have, especially if that could possibly be in the future, that you need to either figure out, okay, well, one of us doesn't want parents to live with us, the other does. What do we do? Do we live nearby? How do we fix this and how do we make it work? How do we always be available? If the husband wants to choose his parents and say, no, they're going to live with us regardless, what does that say about the marriage? That's the only concern that I have is, okay, well, why aren't you guys figuring it out together? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, not that it's a bad thing, because
it's a big sacrifice. Okay. So the offer of you making sure that your parents live with you is a sacrifice in America. It is. It just is facts. And people can hate on it as much as they want, but when it's just you and your wife and your kids, that's a different world than you, your wife, your kids, and your parents. Their opinion comes into it. You can say all you want that, oh, but they just live on the other side of the house, or, oh, they live in the basement of our house. Oh, that doesn't matter. That's just a whole nother world that if you can't grasp the fact that what it's like to live alone, like you just won't get the concept. That's why a lot of people in India are so adamant about it, because they have no other view. They don't know anything else besides this. And so they can't deal with the fact of, oh, like, I'm not going to have my parents live. No, like that's not possible. Like, I could never do that.
And I, again, respect to anyone who makes that decision for you and your family. But I personally could not do it. I love both of our parents so much. My mom and dad, I lived with you for a very long time.
But yeah, it was kind of crazy just to read some of the advice that people gave. It felt like the advice that people were giving is like, you just need to set boundaries. Like, it's obvious, like if your parents are living with you can't just kick them out, right? And the only way to go past this is set really strong boundaries. If you guys are having breakfast in the morning, make sure that they're not there during that time. I know that's crazy of an ask, but it's your house. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll wake up an hour earlier. I'll wake up an hour later. They can have their breakfast. They do their thing. I know a lot of families who will have completely different dinner schedules. Like, the parents will make their own dinner and then the couple will make their own dinner, and they live separately but within the same house. And that boundary setting will help in this situation immensely.
Yeah, for sure. Before we move on to the rest that we found, let's have a quick word from our sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Autonomy. They are on a mission to build the healthiest generation of South Asians ever through life-changing body and health transformations. Nathan has been working with the South Asian community for 7 years and has mastered the understanding of the South Asian body, culture, and lifestyle. Wherever you are in the world, you can have access to South Asian specific coaching to join and be a part of the healthiest generation ever of South Asians.
The link is in the description below if you would like to book a call with Autonomy to see how you could benefit from it. It is a fantastic program. We are actually going to be doing it for the next 6 months. We got our diet plan. We got our workout plan. I'm excited to show you guys the progress. We actually took our progress pics yesterday, and I can't wait to share in 3 months what we're going to look like. We're going to be freaking units. We're going to be units, Hallie.
Units?
We're going to be units. Do you know what that means?
Is that positive?
Absolute units. That's what it means.
I got a marathon coming up, guys. I need to know how to fuel properly and to feel good enough to run the marathon. So this is really awesome and I'm really excited. Shout out Nathan and Autonomy. All right, everybody. Next question. And I thought this one was kind of interesting, so I really wanted to read this one. I think you'll like it. We got married and now she's a social media influencer, 27 male and 25 female. Does this hit close to home?
This is a little close to home.
Your face made me laugh. I, 27 male, and my wife, 25 female, have been married for 2 years. I want to start off by saying I love her so much and we have been together for a total of 6 years now. Something changed after about 1 year of marriage. She began posting on social media multiple times a day and is slowly growing a following. Oh, I thought you were laughing. And I was like, dang, already? She has begun posting on social media multiple times a day and is slowly growing a following and making a tad bit of money. I'm super happy that she has found something she enjoys and is passionate about. But now this is where things get iffy. I myself personally hate social media. Yes, I will scroll, but I have zero desire to create TikTok or Instagram content. I used to post a tiny bit sharing with friends and family, but was always on private. I have since not posted in years as the pictures, videos, and TikToks became daily and multiple times a day from her, and have zero interest in posting to share with friends and family. Now, if this is where things get mucky, I get told that I do not support her because I have no desire to be in videos and pictures for the public. It's just not my thing, call me crazy. As well as get sent videos of couples creating content together and get told, why can't you be like that? I've sat through countless photo and video sessions and all I ask is that I support from a distance and am respected with my desires. Because my view is, hey, I know you support me in my corporate career, but I do not expect you to sit here and help do my job and participate. I feel that is a pretty fair view, right? It also makes me frustrated and sad when anything we go try to do together turns into a TikTok or photo shoot. For example, we went to a football game where the first hour and a half of it was just taking photos and videos of her. And then when things finally did wind down, I just sat there alone while she was editing, completely unengaged from our date. I have tried to compromise. For example, said, hey, let's spend the first part taking your content and the second part can be just us enjoying each other's company and experiencing life through our eyes and not a camera. Oh, I have said that to you before. That's crazy. Okay. She always tells me I don't support her. We have a trip planned for a road trip this fall along the East Coast, and she brought up talking about a compromise where I said that either certain days or times of day I would be the camera video guy, but then other times we could just enjoy time together. I was told that wouldn't work for her. I then asked what compromising scenario would be, and she told me she had none. I feel like she is not open to meeting somewhere in the middle, and it's either me or influencing at this point.
That's yikes.
Oh.
That's yikes. It's like very hard to live life and not be on the camera every second, especially for people who are in the social media space. I have met creators. I have met lots of people that struggle with this kind of stuff, but I've also met people who are very good at it. Like there's lots of creators out there who we meet and I don't even see their phone. Like they don't even take it out of their pocket. And that is definitely something that you have to train yourself to do. It seems like this person is just not willing to live life in the moment. They are very addicted to likes, views, the community. They're addicted to it. This is a problem. This is not a good thing.
Yeah, this 1000% is a problem. I think because at the end of the day, it's still, she's valuing the content and the attention from other people on these apps over that of her husband who's right in front of her.
Yeah.
And I think, the fact that there is no room for compromise, that's concerning. And the first comment is, get out now. My sister had a friend that did that with her husband. It was weird AF. Her husband was always a prop in her Instagram stories, and it was just bizarre. She made a shit ton of money, but I'm also pretty sure she's now divorced.
Yikes. Do you ever feel like a prop, Ellie?
See, it's different for us because we both are in this, but I don't know. Okay, not really, but I can see how maybe people would think that because we do love to include the other person in our own content. And I know I personally do that a ton. You have your own like finance thing, but a lot of the things that I do, like if they're cooking, dancing, talking, whatever, a lot of things that I like to post on social media, they do involve you.
Yep.
And so some people could be like, oh my gosh, she's just using him. He's just a prop. And so many people have commented that, and I don't care. But at the same time, I'm not, like I'm not trying to, but I could see how it could come off that way. So this is interesting. The next thing that somebody said is, it may be horrible to say, but do not have kids with her. They will be props for her videos, guaranteed. She will use them to keep her influencer career going if you refuse to get involved. Just imagine how she'll react if the kids are not interested in being followed around by a camera.
This reminds me of the Hulu series.
Yes.
What's her name?
Ruby Frankie. That scary family. Oh my gosh.
I think having kids in your videos is okay to a certain extent, but making them the center of attention, making the videos be just them, is very dangerous, because then they become an employee and they are not your kids anymore.
Well, and I firmly believe that if you're this addicted, then it's a drug.
It is.
And
it is a drug.
we don't place that much emphasis on it. Yeah, we love making content, but we don't make it our entire identities. It might seem like we do, and that's fair too. That's a fair observation, because we're posting all the time and people always be like, get a job.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who said, get a job.
Yeah, which is fine.
Fun fact, we do have a job outside of content. It's photo, video stuff, but it is tough. It is tough hearing that all the time.
It is, no, for real. And to that point, we're the people that make our work. It's very different than what I used to do, where the work was just there and it would get assigned to me. Now we have to make it, which is there is more stress and pressure, but in a good way, but there is a lot more work. But yeah, I just want to kind of finish this up. That's crazy. Another comment said this would torpedo my marriage.
Yeah.
And I just want to add one final point, that we're getting so much better about setting boundaries and not filming every part of our life. There are a lot of things that we don't even have our phones out for, that we don't post about, that we don't talk about. And it's because we need that quiet, intentional time for each other, because that is what we both thrive off of, and feeling how we feel close and connected. And I personally know that for myself, I have to have that in order to feel close to you. And I know you need it as well. But there will be so many things that we don't really talk about, because we like to just have them private for ourselves. And I think that's okay. And I think that's what this person doesn't understand. And I think that's a problem that will only get worse if you continue to ignore it.
100%.
Next question. Am I asking too much? Today, I am feeling very annoyed and would love to hear other perspectives, especially from a male's POV. I'm 33 female and my husband is 36 male, and we've been married for just shy of 8 years. We have 2 young children, 5 and 3. I work in a flexible but demanding job, and my husband owns his own business that he started a few years ago. My biggest annoyances can be narrowed down to these 2 things. Number 1, my husband feels that since running his own business is so taxing, that I should be willing to pick up more of the household load, and he feels he never gets time for himself. To an extent, these feel pretty reasonable. Here's what annoys me though. I already do the bulk of the household chores, or we have hired help for the others. All I ask him to do is make our children's lunches for school and handle breakfast during the week, because I leave early in the morning for work. He is also the designated handyman for anything that breaks around the house, or if we do any kind of house project. Everything else pretty much falls to me, including cleaning, cooking. Sometimes he helps with this, scheduling caregivers, children's activities, corresponding with school, taking off of work for school events, meal planning, grocery shopping, etc. I'm recently told he wants me to help more in the mornings again so he can get a break. I'm upset because this is the one area I've asked him to help with, and he's already saying it's too much. I've never run a business before, so please tell me if I'm overreacting for wanting my partner to show up more. I'm tired too. With my job, I can work anywhere between 40 to 80 hours a week. The second complaint really grinds my gears because he gets a lot more, quote, me time than I do. I usually take the kids on Saturday mornings so he can do an activity that he wants to do. He also always takes a nap on the weekends, and I'm the one with the kids during that time. I'm at my tipping point because I'm up for a promotion at my job, and it means my work will be more demanding than it is right now. To get ahead of this, I tried to talk to him last night about changes to our current state. I told him we could alternate who handles breakfast days, but I needed him to help more with dishes and laundry, and his response was that if he did that, then he needs to shut his business down because he can't do both. Can it get better? Am I asking too much? Am I not being understanding enough since my job is different? Is this just a phase because our kids are young and demanding and eventually it gets better? I've tried different ways of communicating my feelings, but he just immediately jumps to extremes like the one mentioned above or gets defensive. Therapy sounds great, but he says he just doesn't have time because of the business. What else could I do or say? How can I approach these issues?
Da-da-dang. This one's crazy. Do you feel like what? What do you have to say?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna let you talk first.
No, you go ahead.
Talk.
Okay, well the first comment is he can do both. He can't do both, but you can? Nah. Exactly.
It seems like he's making excuses. Running a business is difficult. It's very hard. It takes up all your mind space, but I've known people who are running a business that are doing it the right way. They're still doing work around the house. They are making sure they plan dates. They are doing all the right things. But when you say do the laundry and do the dishes and they say, "Oh, I gotta shut down my business for that." What in the world? That's
Taking
crazy.
it to the extreme.
I know I take things to the extreme all the time, but that's extreme.
That is extreme. Yeah, so it sounds like he's got a lot of time on Saturdays when he takes his little naps and he does his little activities. And when you have a business, isn't that what you sign up for? Chaos? I mean, honestly, do people not know that?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, things are crazy.
So I hope he's paying you because apparently you're one of his employees now, since he's not going to do any of the work in the house. If he has a business and he's making money, if he can't do it, then hire it out. Like, get a person cleaning your house 24/7. And if he can't afford that, then he's not running the business well enough.
Exactly.
Then he can do that stuff at home.
That's so beyond frustrating. And the fact that he thinks, oh, I don't get enough time to myself. Do you not get time to yourself when you're working on the business by yourself? Yeah, you don't get rest time to yourself, even though it sounds like your Saturdays are pretty full with rest, brother. Yeah, that's not clocking to me. He's not standing on business. That frustrates me. Personally, as somebody who does own their own business and works on it and thinks about it all the time, yeah, it's hard, okay? And you have to make some sacrifices. Like, I can't just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. There are some things that I just can't do because I'm like, oh, I got to get this done. Or, like you do have to be more intentional with your time. Like, okay, I have like 15 minutes. Maybe I could start prepping lunch now or prepping dinner. Or, I've wanted to clean our mirrors for a few days. Like, I'm going to go do that now. So you have to be very strategic and intentional with your time. And I can't even imagine bringing kids into that. So the fact that he's not even trying to be there for your kids, that PMO.
That kids situation. I've heard so much about kids this episode. I'm just like,
how can you not be a parent? Like, what the load that you're putting on your significant other by not being there for your children is insane.
Wild.
That's crazy to me. And no, that is not asking too much.
Desi parents, everybody. Another Desi parents question. This past weekend, I attended a wedding of two of my good friends. The bride is an American-born confused Desi, and the groom is a white guy, and they're both doctors. They're amazing people. They're the type of people who just bring so much happiness to your life. The wedding was beautiful. They did a fusion wedding, so they had a Hindu ceremony as well. But the bride's parents, close aunts and uncles, did not attend because they couldn't get over the fact that their daughter, who was born and raised in America, married a white guy. He loves and respects her, but they couldn't get over the fact that he wasn't Indian. She has gone no contact with her parents. Her two siblings attended and are trying to be low contact with their parents as well. I generally don't understand Indian parents and why they let their ego and tradition get in the way of their kids' own happiness. Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy to me. This happens so often where people send in responses to us. They're like, hey, how did you convince your parents to get married to Hallie? And I'm so afraid because I'm afraid that I'll get disowned. I had to run away from my house because my parents wouldn't approve of my relationship. What in the world is going on in their minds to cause all of this? This is like, to me, this is insane. And I was scared too. I'm not gonna, like, I was scared too, but I knew at the back of my head that my parents loved me, right? There's no way that they aren't going to support me. They might be mad for a month. They might be mad for a year. But at the end of the day, they're not going to want to lose their son, right? Like that's that's insane. So the fact that they're
No contact?
not talking or they didn't attend the wedding,
That's crazy.
that's insane. What do you have to say to that?
That's wild. What's the first comment? I read it a little bit.
They saved a lot of money from the looks of it. The parents will come around once the first grandchild comes.
But it shouldn't take that. You're really going to stay mad? For what? That's so sad. Like, seriously, you can't get over. Do you not want to see somebody that you love be happy? That's what I don't understand. So the fact that they are no contact, not talking is absurd to me.
This is a good comment. Why move to North America and punish your successful children for making their own decisions on love? Unbelievable.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's so frustrating because this is why kids get, it's the fear mindset. Like it's fear mongering. Like you're so scared to tell your parents. And then when you do, they end up proving your point of like, I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have done that. And then you feel disappointed. It's a traumatic experience.
Well, the grudge holding. Guys, what are we doing? Can you imagine, honestly, okay, look at me. Can you imagine waking up every day and being mad about something and that's all that you think about and it's all consuming all the time? And you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to talk to him. Huh? What? Okay, you're just damaging yourself at that point. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you hold on to something so deeply? I don't get why people can't just let things go.
The crazy thing is, I think parents in India are actually more understanding than parents in America.
Why do you think that is?
Because when the parents who left India in 2000s, they left knowing what India was like in the 2000s. The amount that India has progressed since 2001, 2002 to now is insane. There are people who have actual, like the parents are understanding. The parents have progressed to a point of like, it's okay. You can marry whoever you want. Love is a thing in India now. And back when we moved here, I feel like that was not widely talked about and there was not progress made at the time. And so they have left in a position where the world is still standing still of wherever they left from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they just don't have that new mindset of the progressive life that everybody else has moved on except them. So that's all my thoughts on that. It's just so frustrating. I get riled up in this topic.
That's
so annoying.
Understandable. I mean, that's a doozy, and that's very difficult. It's just more sad than anything. I think that they're really not going to talk over something, like over somebody being happy and finding love. Really, you can't find it in your heart to have a conversation or talk a little bit, talk about why you're upset. You know, I can imagine probably some people are like, well, there's nothing to say. I don't have anything to say to them. That's your child, man. What are you doing?
There is one more thing that I wanted to mention. There's a comment that says, a lot of Desi parents say, we did so much for you, and now you have to listen to us. That, to me, is where they're getting confused. Yes, they do so much. They do everything. And for that, I'm grateful. But that doesn't mean you own the person. They're still your kid. They're allowed to do whatever they want. They're allowed to, once they become an adult, they are an adult. They make their own decisions. And a lot of parents don't understand that just yet. But they'll have to figure out the hard way if they want to keep controlling like that.
And to be fair, too, my parents did everything for me growing up. And granted, I'm not comparing our situations at all. My parents did not bring me to a country for a better life. Okay, they didn't do that. But they did everything they could, that they showed to me to love me. And they didn't expect anything in return. And I don't think that's fair. And yes, your parents did so much, and so many people who are first generation, like South Asian, American. Yeah, that's amazing. And again, I'm not in that experience, or I haven't had that experience, so I wouldn't know. But that is so much to do for your child. Yeah. But the expectation, like, I'm not talking bad either way, but the expectation that, oh, you have to do everything I say, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's really wrong.
Very wrong. Next question.
We have a couple left, okay, guys, so bear with us. They're kind of similar a little bit, not really, more just on the intimate side of relationships, so it's a little crazy. This one is called Attracted to Other People. So this is a 36 male and 33 female. We've been together for 3 years, married. Found a lot of saved special content on my husband's phone. Struggling with one burning question. How is it possible for someone in love to no longer feel physical attraction to other people? I, 33 female, have been with my husband, 36 male, for 3 years, and we've been married for 1. Recently, I discovered a huge stash of special content saved on his phone, like a lot. It's been pretty shattering for my self-confidence. I've been wrestling with a lot of emotions. He's super apologetic and has agreed to stop and never have them again. He's deleted IG, Tumblr, etc., but there's one specific question that's been haunting me and I need to ask it here. I know it might actually sound naive or idealistic, but is it actually possible, reasonable even, to believe that when someone truly falls in love with you and chooses you, they would no longer be physically attracted to other women's bodies? I want the answer to be yes. Maybe it's rare, but I want to believe it's possible that someone could feel so deeply connected and committed that they no longer register other people as physically attractive in that way. Please be honest, but kind. I'm not looking for a debate about porn or morality. I just want insight into whether this belief is realistic, delusional, or actually attainable in certain relationships.
First comment is, married 20 years and definitely still find other women attractive, but I don't keep a folder of them on my phone. That's disrespectful. This is a problem. I mean, it's an addiction problem. You got to fix that first and then deal with the rest.
Well, that's not the question.
The question's about being attracted to other people.
Yeah.
I think you can be attracted to other people, but it's like the intention that you have with it. Does that make sense?
It does. I think there's a better way to word that, though. I think you can find other people attractive,
yes,
but you can't be attracted to other people.
Ooh, yeah.
That's kind of, or not can't, but the way, like, obviously, yeah, I see people or like a guy and I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks good. Like, he's an attractive guy. But again, with the intentions, I don't have intentions with that. And I don't want anything out of it. And I'm not attracted to him. Does that make sense?
Like a celebrity crush, right? Like you find them attractive.
Right.
But it's not like, oh, that person is going to take over compared to my wife.
Because then I think, so to the question of this, I think it's not okay if you're fantasizing about other people in your relationship. That's a, excuse me, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I don't think that you're going crazy. I think, yeah, if you have stuff saved on your phone, then that's the addiction part that maybe needs to be worked out. And that's the problem that I think, because if you, I know a lot of people who have gone through this situation in their own relationships, and whichever way it is, you do leave the other person feeling very insecure and feeling very like you don't value them. Like, oh, okay, I have these photos of naked women or whatever that I have on my phone, but I like, why do you have those then? Is what about your partner is not doing it for you? That's what I don't get. Or what do you not, I don't know. I guess I just don't understand. What do you think about that?
It's hard for me to like fully explain this situation because it feels like they are trying to find resources to find not love, but more of lust, right? And they feel like they can't find that with you. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but it's just they're finding external forces to take care of their specific needs. So they're like, okay, let me do this over here so then I don't have to bother this person over here. And that is an issue.
One of the comments is that your feelings are valid, and I highly encourage you to talk to your partner about how he's made you feel and ask him to stop. If he doesn't want to, maybe exploring other options would be a good idea, like individual therapy, marriage counseling. Marriages can make comebacks from all sorts of difficult things. It's just a lot of hard work that you both have to put time, energy, and effort into. That is very true. I think this is something that could be worked through, but it does take the intentions of wanting to fix it, and not just you telling him to do something. He has to want to change, and that's in any situation. They have to want to change for themselves. You can't make somebody do something, at least not wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Last question. This one's a little saucy, everybody. My do I even read this?
I think we're going to have to use different words.
My husband's drive is exhausting me. Need advice from anyone who's been here. I'm 39, been married to my husband for 14 years. We have a strong, loving relationship and great communication overall. One thing that's always been true in our marriage is how incredibly high his drive is. He's I can't say that. I've always done my best to meet his needs because I love him and enjoy intimacy with him, but I'm finding myself totally drained. I genuinely want to keep him satisfied, and I know physical touch is a huge part of how he feels close and loved, but my body and my energy can't always keep up, and lately it's starting to wear on me more than usual. I've tried to pace things or set boundaries gently, but he still seems to crave more than I can realistically give. Have any of you dealt with a similar mismatch? How did you balance your partner's needs with your own limits without damaging the connection or making them feel rejected? I don't want to hurt him or distance myself. I just need ways to navigate this better.
Good question. I think there is a limit to it, right? There's like a point where you become an addict, and that's where you need to take care of things the more serious route, therapy, talking about it, marriage counseling, whatever it may be. And then there's the other side where it's not as serious and you just have a good conversation about it. Does that make sense?
About having mismatch and drive, but that's a huge problem.
It's a problem in almost every relationship when you
yeah.
initially start. Like it's an issue of, are you guys on the same page or not? Or are you guys putting in equal amounts of effort or not? That's a big thing.
Yeah, and when one person wants that but the other doesn't, then you feel rejected. And how do you deal with that?
How do you deal with it? I don't know how to deal with it.
Especially over time when things get busy and crazy. And if you introduce kids into the picture too, then one person needs that to feel close and connected to you, but the other doesn't necessarily need that. They just need your support. And then you're not on the same page and you're not communicating well and you're not able to articulate the problem and you're just frustrated. And when you guys don't get together for a little while, you tend to get frustrated and arguments become a lot more frequent.
My favorite comment here is, ain't nobody got time for that.
That's true. Because there were some things we cut out. But basically,
we'll have some of these Reddit linked in the description. So if you want to read the full thing, you can read the full thing.
Yeah, for sure. But that's, okay, I'm reading some of the comments. Dear Lord, I have high drive, but this sounds crazy. He has a problem. There is no way you can keep this up. I am all about healthy, intimate lives, but this is truly insane to me.
Yeah. People have problems, and they need to take care of the problems. Okay. I think this is a great one to end on, everyone. Thank you for listening to our Reddit research. It took us a long time to find some of these, so I hope you guys enjoyed and found some of them kind of funny. As a reminder, if you want to submit your own questions, you can go to www.halfpastchai.com and submit your own questions and stories. This is episode 116. Wow. At 120, your questions will be answered. So make sure you submit any and all questions. You can DM us as well. We will write them down in our questions list. Half Past Crew, we thank you. And we thank Half Past Crew, we thank you for your support. If you would like to support Hallie in her fundraiser for Therapists Beyond Borders, the link is down in the description below. Half Past Crew, guess what? We will see you next Monday at Half Past Chai.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Dude, some of those questions were crazy. Those man, oh man, oh man. Look at our mugs. Do we have anything in them? Nope.
Chalo, bada, avjo.
Chamak chalo.
Half Past Crew. Hi guys, what's up? It's me. Okay,